Hello, dear viewers and listeners of the podcast Got in the Motion with today's special New Year episode with me, the main host, Yavor Ivanov, and with my favorite co-host, Kubrat Ivanov, more known as Scooby.
Hello everyone and welcome to today's episode where we will be discussing extreme sports, the pros and the cons for it. It's a huge and wide range topic where it's definitely very argumentative and we will be dissecting it and seeing maybe the economical impact, the personal impact on families and just the general arguments against and for it. So Yavor, how are you feeling today?
Hello, I'm good. How are you? Merry Christmas to you, Kubi.
Yeah, thank you very much. And hopefully now with the New Year's coming, we will be starting off the year very well and just be healthy and happy. And that's also towards everyone's in this episode. So the first question is towards you. Why do you think that these sports as such are being watched by so many?
I think it's not easy the answer of this question because I think there could be a couple of different factors. For example, these sports are more popular in the developed countries of West Europe, United States.
100%.
People maybe have more time to do it, first of all. If you're a poor person who has to work 12 hours a day, every day, I don't think you'll find any time and money to do any of these extreme sports, which we will go through most of them. And the other factor is I think people just get bored. They want to do something more extreme. It's another reason. And also maybe it's a bit of fashion as well among young people, and not only. So there could be a couple of reasons, but the most I can think is maybe these three main ones.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's this non-ending trend of which mountain have you been to, or which ski resort have you been to, and this and that, and it's definitely a big conversation starter anyways with the people that I'm communicating with today, and I've always wondered what's so fascinating about it, as I've never been to such a resort. I've personally expressed no interest to try and see what it is. I'd maybe go to a cabin, but not to the extent of getting on a ski or...
Yeah, neither do I. What do you think should be count, and what is coming across your head when you hear extreme sports and that they could be dangerous?
Well, I definitely I think anybody can evaluate it to a point of just looking at statistics, where you can have, yes, high risk sports, but compared to other ones, you wouldn't even say that they're high risk. Sports as such, maybe as mountain climbing, ski, snowboard, those sort of sports where there's so many unpredictable things that can occur within a training session or just you going down that mountain. Well, you have other ones such as even bungee jumping, which we looked into, and as risky as it looks, the stats show that there aren't many injured, everything's calculated, and by comparing the two, and even some of the combat sports, most of the injuries do not come from the actual fight itself. It comes from the preparation, whether it's a bad weight cut that can affect the overall endurance and performance of the body. It's, for me anyways, how you can classify which sport is risky or not is down to the unpredictable factors. In a ski, you're going down a mountain, an avalanche. You can't predict, you can't train yourself for that. Is it? While for maybe bungee jumping, as I gave an example, everything's measured, conditions of weather are taken into factor. It's a little more safe to some extent. That for me is how you can measure it, but what would be your opinion on it, and which ones would you classify?
To me, maybe 3 or 4 for me are the most dangerous, and maybe the statistics will prove me right or wrong. Maybe we will talk about that a bit later. To me, mountain climbing, I think is very dangerous, and probably is a high rate of mortality there.
100%.
Snowboarding, skiing. This is extremely dangerous sports, and I would not advise Nobody.
Yeah.
I wouldn't advise my family members. I wouldn't advise any of my friends or anybody from the public to practice them, no matter how exciting and
Yeah.
unique they are.
Yeah.
In the end of the day, life is more precious than anything else, than whatever
100%.
pleasure it is, because if you go on that road, some people who use drugs can say, well, I enjoy myself.
Exactly.
But that
Yeah.
doesn't mean it's safe.
No.
Yeah, maybe somebody will say, yeah, we can compare drugs with mountain climbing, but the risk probably is high. You did a bit of research about it, and maybe later you tell us.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong or right, the
Yeah.
statistics. So, yeah, these three I will classify maybe to me the most dangerous: mountain climbing,
Yeah.
skiing, snowboarding. In some extent, scuba diving, because people go extreme. We were witnessing recently with this little submarine.
Yeah. Exactly. To visit the Titanic.
Which it can be done. It's you're living in 21st century with a lot of advanced technology. You can look at Titanic from a camera.
Yeah, you don't have to be going
You
there.
don't have to go there. And even some of the story was that one of the boys didn't want to go.
No,
They,
he wanted to make his father.
Proud, and you see this is putting in people's head as well. Oh yeah, let's do this. So my community or my family will be proud of it. I think it's nothing to be proud of. That's for me, it's a pure and plain silliness.
Yeah.
There is many thousands of ways to prove that you are brave, that you are skillful.
Exactly.
Then risk your lives for such a thing. And unfortunately, all these people and this young man
Yeah.
in this little submarine.
100%. If you want to prove to yourself, even on that topic, you can develop yourself physically, mentally, academically. There's so many other factors where realistically you won't be getting asked, oh, have you been to this mountain range, or have you been 2,000 meters deep into the water?
Yeah.
Just for an example, what really wins over and makes an impression to people is your knowledge, your maybe point of view, your critical thinking, your analysis in certain situations. But that all comes from pushing yourself, not to risk your life, but in a much more pragmatic and practical manner.
Yeah. And a lot of people as well think through this sport, some certain percentage of people that they can make proud them nation or them country.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go to side of our subject, but bravery is, I can see some countries try to monopolize, to take the monopoly of the bravery. Bravery, there is brave people everywhere, and how I said just a minute ago, that there is many ways to prove bravery without risking your life to prove yourself to your family, community, or country.
Yeah, that's 100% true. And do you practice any of such sports or anything of risk?
Some people say that the sport I practice is dangerous, even though I wouldn't consider it. But a lot of people probably they do. I do kickboxing and boxing, and if I have time, which seldom happen, a bit of taekwondo. Maybe it's a little bit dangerous. I had a little mild injuries, but so far so good.
Yeah. I suppose it also depends on luck a little bit. On some of the exercises and
the exercises with who you're sparring, for example, with who you're training, because people who are well trained, there is a very slim chance that it will happen accident, even though it's
possible.
It is possible.
It's still possible.
That's the extreme sports I practice. The rest,
but it's not like.
But I wouldn't consider it as very extreme.
No, because you're there for as much as obviously trying to bring your technique to as close to perfection, but it's not like you're competing extensively where you're having to cut weight every 3 months or you're out there fighting for money or anything.
No,
you do it more for exercise.
Exercises and improve your techniques. Actually, I know it's a cliche, but I compete with myself.
Yeah.
With the help of the others, I'm competing with myself. How I can more improve physically to get more fit and strong. And as you know, if you spend more energy, then you have more energy.
Yeah.
So that's the main purposes.
And even the fighting community, if you get into a nice gym where people are sound.
Exactly. That's the extreme sport I train, but I don't think it's that extreme in my opinion.
Yeah.
Some people will consider it really extreme, but I'm not one of them. And I wanted to ask you, which is important because when we talk about no matter what subject, statistics are very important.
Yeah.
So you did a little bit of research. Do you know, you can give us some figures about the mortality, the injuries,
Yeah, well,
extreme sports?
for an example, in mountain climbing, you have, just in the Himalayas itself, this is all based in the Himalayas, one mountain range. Out of 100 mountain climbers that pass the 6,000 meter mark, 10 of them are guaranteed to die. That's bare minimum. So 10%.
That's very high.
Yeah, so 10% will not return home to their families.
My God, this is very high, isn't it?
Yeah, and even if you look at skiing and stuff like that, well, yes, out of 100,000, 10,000 are injured. Not seriously, but those are 10,000 people injured. Whether it's a broken arm, whether it's you fractured something. Injuries, it's still high. 10,000 people are attending hospital, have to be hospitalized. Those are injuries that you can't just go home, sit like a bruise. No, those are 10,000 people that are getting sent to hospital because they need that medical care. So even though on the scale of, how lethal is it? Well, it's not. But if you're having to get sent to the hospital, well, it's not a minor injury as well.
No, it's not.
And the thing is, out of those 10,000 people, 2 are fatally injured. So they're fighting for their life. So
maybe my sense of danger about these sports were right, because in this way the statistic proves
backs
right.
it up, 100%.
And I know a friend of Nepal. I have a friend of Nepal. He's told me that every year when it's earthquakes in Nepal or whatever it is, earthquake,
tremors,
it's the earth from the earth. It's emerge bodies. So,
that's
there's a lot of dead people, and how you said it, we should point it out that that's not only that's only along in the Himalayan.
Himalayas, exactly. That's
Himalayas,
that's
and
one
then
mountain
you
range.
have the Alps, the Andes, so many mountains all over the world that people practice it. And you know what? I noticed with these mountain climbers that they wouldn't stop.
No, they never stop.
When they reach the top of 6,000 feet or
meters.
They want to achieve 8.
Yeah. Or they go to one mountain range and then they want to go to another one.
And you know what? They don't stop until most of them died.
Yeah, 100%.
Which is a very sad.
And
we will talk about this later.
A recent example as well.
Yeah, in Bulgaria one, I forgot his name, 3 or 4 years ago, one of the best mountain climber in Bulgaria. He's been
through all the mountains. He's been through everything.
He went to the top of 6 or 7 top ones in the Himalayas, and in the last one,
they never found him. That's the thing. They don't even know. No, you're playing with luck. I think it doesn't matter how skilled you are. Yeah. Going back to the factors that you can't really predict. That's it.
The statistic, how you said, is proof. 10 out of 100 going to die.
Yeah, just in the Himalayas.
If you're a mountain climber of these high mountains, no matter in Europe or in Asia or in Africa or South America, if you are not one of these 10% this year, you could be one of these 10 next year. And if you continue doing it, well, that's guaranteed.
Yeah. No, do it 10 times. There's the stat. Out of 10 times, it's ought to happen more likely to happen once.
Yeah.
So,
it's shocking.
Yeah.
And I don't know why people continue doing it. I know it's very controversial to say it, but life, happiness, it's more important than what you just want to have fun and enjoyment and risk your life. I think it doesn't make sense, and I wouldn't do it.
No. And do you think that it's selfish to participate in such sports?
I think it is. It's a big level of selfishness, and I'll tell you why. Because they said, but I want to compete with myself. But when you put in danger your life, your well-being, you're not putting only yourself on that. Because once you die, or you are badly injured, all your family members
Gets affected 100%.
your friends, and that's for life.
Yeah.
If you die or injured badly, which it happens.
Yeah, it happens.
How many people they cut them legs
Even
and because they
even
frozen.
Schumacher, right? He had this
yeah,
skiing
no.
incident where.
Yeah, we talk about the equipment later, and case with the Schumacher, which is a good example. I think it's extremely selfish sport, and people really get angry with me when I say it. But if they think deeply,
Yeah.
and really take a minute, take away these emotions, and oh look, that's my life. I do whatever I like with it.
Yeah.
And really they think and come to the common sense. If something happens, all your family will suffer, all your friends.
Yeah.
And to go to sports like mountain climbing and risk your life, 10 out of 100 to try, I think it's very, very selfish. Because you're enjoying it, climbing where you want the bears don't go.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is no bears there. It's only snow and that.
Yeah.
So, do you think, talking about people get lost in the mountain, because some survive, thank
Yeah.
God,
100%. Yeah.
some survive, and but they have to be rescued, and this rescue costs a lot of money. Do you think the state should pay for the rescue, or the person who practices this extreme sports?
Honestly, it might sound a bit unscrupulous, but I don't think they should. Because the people that do it, they go off with the mentality, this is my life, I want to do whatever I want. Right, go do whatever you want. But why should the state have to pay thousands? Sometimes it's tens of thousands.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're risking other people's lives just to go save you. And in a sense, it's okay, one life is going to help out the other. No, but why was that life put into risk in the first place to where others have to be put into risk? Because we've had cases, I've remembered throughout the years, where somebody's climbed up, the medic or one or two of the people that are trying to help him die just to save the person. Just because he wants to go prove to, I don't even know who. Somebody goes over to me and says, I climbed 6,000 meters. Well, yeah, sure, it's unique, but in what sense have you benefited any other aspect of your life rather than just that takes months of preparation, tons of experience, and if you were to put it into something more pragmatic, I'm sure that you'd achieve different results and something way more beneficial in life. So no, I don't think that you should be that the state should be paying for it, because fine, people like us where that we think they're against it, they say my life, my choice, grand, go ahead. But
like in kickboxing, for example, when you have an injury and you need attention, you pay for it. And if people consider it
that's
as
true.
extreme sports, we pay for it. Thank God I went only once all these years. I trained kickboxing, just concerned and more concerned than anything else. And I pay for it, and it's my choice.
Yeah.
And I pay for it. Why? Somebody it pay a huge amount of money. How you mention it, and it's true, because sometimes a rescue campaign for 1 or 2 days can cost 10,000, 20,000.
Yeah.
Because I remember in Bulgaria, for example, for one guy they were looking for him for 3 days. It was 10,000 euros.
Yeah.
That could be much more. It depends how many helicopters, how many teams are involved with rescue. So I think people who risk, they should, for example, have a special insurance.
Yeah.
The insurance to pay for it.
Yeah. No.
But again, I'm against even that in a way, because when it's more accidents and insurance pay out more money, then our insurance rise, the ones who doesn't experience this extreme sport. So in the end of the day, the whole society paying for this extreme sport.
Yeah.
This, if you like me, a bit of madness.
Yeah.
Insane a bit.
And I can tell you, it doesn't matter if you're in a third world country or in a first world. That money could be spent on way more important stuff.
You're reading my mind.
Doesn't matter in what case.
Spending 50,000, 100,000, They could be spent for life-saving operations, health service, education. You can name a lot of really useful ways to be spent.
And I'm sure that a lot of people now are going to be saying, "Oh, so what? Leave the people to die." No, I'm sure that there's an ulterior method that will be effective. So maybe you save them, but they're put in debt if they can't pay it, and it's something that they pay off for the rest of their life because they've put themselves in that situation. People have risked their life. Why should they be okay? Sure, they're injured. I don't see. I can see why people can feel sad for them or whatever, but they brought that upon themselves. They put themselves. It's like the same. If somebody tells you to jump off a bridge, would you do it? Well, no. But if you do it to yourself.
It's like the seatbelt. Seatbelt has to be put in the car when you are. This is going to the mountains. This is high mountains where it's only snow and that. Very high. The bears doesn't go there.
Yeah.
You're risking yourself. It's like driving a car without seatbelt. Who is guilty for it?
Yeah.
You're the one who exposed yourself and put yourself in danger.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. They should be away. They should pay for it.
Yeah. No, they should pay for it.
If you don't have money to pay for your rescue and
you're in debt.
you pay.
Because it's a human life.
Installment or whatever.
Yeah. No, it's a human life. It should get saved, but they shouldn't be financially just let free because of the event that's occurred upon them.
And you are asking me, every state should discourage this kind of sports.
Yeah, no.
This should be discouraged because I don't see any positive sides of these sports, and that leads to my next questions to you. Do you think this, because we often see it, these sports are involved in charity and saying, "Oh, I'm climbing this 8,000 meters above the sea level top because I'm doing charity and I collect last time $10,000 or euro for or rupees for charity." What do you think of it?
I have a very specific opinion on it. I think if you're going to do such a sport and it's going to get watched regardless, and it's not in any sense going to be stopped. Rather, it's going to be supported. If it's to be used for charity, I think it should be. It may as well happen for charity. If you're going to bring people, at least now that you're risking your life, it's not for your own personal endeavour and accomplishment. You're doing it for other people, realistically. Because for the charity, for me to not support it, to be for charity would be if the sport in general, or sports as such, were to be just stopped. Then I'd say no. If you want to discourage the regular sports, I don't think it should be for charity. Because I'm sure that there's 150 other methods that could bring in, if not the same amount, but much more revenue. But if people are going to risk their lives and they're going to go with my body, my choice, may as well help out people in need from that standpoint of view. Because if they're going to risk their life and they're going to make no money, or if they're going to risk their life and because people are paying now to watch it, well, at least somebody's getting something out of it.
Yeah, at least they make already their minds that they're going to risk their lives, at least they do it for some good cause.
Exactly, rather than...
Even though there is another ways to do that, but how we said, if it's unstoppable, they're unstoppable, most of them.
May as well
help out the other people, that's it's an interesting point.
Yeah, exactly. So, it kind of... See, this whole topic, it's very, very difficult to speak about because of how intricate it is. You can branch off into so many different things, and one of them would be, for example, equipment. Does it really affect, does it really help you out? And I'm sure that in some cases maybe it could, but in fatal ones, does it?
Maybe here is the moment to say to our listeners and viewers that of course our opinion is not for us it's maybe set in stone, but we really love to hear your opinion about this topic and any another we discussed in this podcast. It's really interesting to see the different points of different people. We just express our opinion and views on, for example, on this topic and the rest. So please, I plead to the viewers and the listeners to express them feelings and views about
100%.
We will get back as soon as possible.
Make
another episode. It's really interesting. Another episode. Maybe we find somebody
a response.
Maybe we'll find somebody who doing this extreme sports to be our guest and
Yeah,
see
it goes.
his opinion or her opinion about it. So please do that.
Yeah. And going back to the question, do you think that equipment kind of helps out in such sports, or is it that big of a deal? Like the way that you look at it for the Schumacher case that we mentioned earlier, he had the best equipment.
The best,
The
most
best,
expensive,
the one that'll give you the top, the most optimal results, whether it's in speed, I don't know, whatever you measure it by.
I love Schumacher. He's a great sportsman. I hope really recover, and he's a example of that no even expensive equipment can save you, and especially where the risk is higher, like skiing, mountain climbing, in this case skiing. So no, I don't think so. Maybe
In minor-
increase a little bit the chance to be injured less, but I don't think he saved it.
Yeah,
entirely.
and that goes back to that unpredictable factor. Well, you have unpredictable factors of weather, of just your general circumstances when you're performing a sport, and then even the things that you spend money on, they don't guarantee you anything as well.
No.
So
You can buy a Mercedes, which Mercedes, for example, spent a lot of money, like the expensive cars, for safety. And of course, driving Mercedes will be safer than another car, but they don't guarantee you immortality.
exactly, but the difference is one has way higher chance of protecting you rather than the other one.
Yeah,
Because-
that's true. Skiing or mountain climbing, no matter
No,
what ropes you
no.
bought, what ski you bought.
There it goes back to the evaluation of, well, with car crashes you can predict them to some sort of extent with all the testing that you have. You can drill 150 different car crashes, and you could look at its statistics, most common ones at highways, at speed, maybe at turning, where you can't really drill that in for skiing. Skiing, you can fall 1,000 different ways, the same way that a car crash can happen. But the thing is, a car crash can be practiced, predicted to some extent, and you can see where the general problems are. With each case in skiing, it's a totally different outcome.
And let's not forget that there is as well extreme of the extreme, if I can call it, people who go in no authorized swaps and practicing skiing and especially snowboarding.
Yeah.
And mortality there is very high. This is again super. I can call it super selfish and super stupid to do that. Young people that are looking, or many young people, but we are witnessing in Bulgaria as well, one politician and businessman did it and died, which I think it's crazy. But we should not forget that skiing is all in the really extreme places, talking about as well the snowboarding. One billionaire, Czech billionaire, was on one of the biggest electrical company in Bulgaria and has a huge business in Czechia, probably Czech Republic and
Other places, yeah.
To go for this extreme snowboarding, I think he went to United States in helicopter in this mountain where it's nothing, it's snowflakes and snow.
Yeah.
And the wind blow and he died, and he had 3 or 4 children.
Yeah.
Such a silly act, because instead of being with his family and be alive and enjoy the wealth he has, the helicopter crash in this mountain, and it's only snow.
Yeah, no, it ended his life, and to some extent it ended his family's life as well, because...
And they will remember only one thing when they see a mountain with snow, the death of their family.
Yeah, that's it.
And I think it's very sad, very selfish, and very silly to do that. But here we are. We always will have certain percentage of people who do it. I really strongly advise them to find another way to enjoy life.
Enjoy their life. Yeah.
Do you think, talking about this experience of people who survive and who are well, after even they had a terrible accident, close to death, or maybe to lose arm or legs, that they learn from this experience?
I think it all comes down to the person, because one will say, sure, look, it was just unlucky. I think if I do it again, different circumstances, I've learned my lesson in a sense that I can grow as a athlete, and next time this won't happen to me. Well, others might have a reality check and say, whoa, this happened. Obviously, I didn't want it to happen. I had no control of how it happened. Maybe I should tone it down a little. Maybe I should stop in general. So it comes down to the person. Like a case that I saw actually about, there was this mountain climber. He was hiking up and his hand was all, for what he thought, because of the harsh weather conditions, he couldn't see, but his hand was what looked like to him purple. And he couldn't move it. And he thought that obviously hypothermia to some extent has, you know, once your hand goes like that,
you're more likely to lose your hand.
You're going to lose
when
your
you're
hand.
in the mountain, no medical attention.
Eventually, after it reached the top, he's explaining his story to the top, and he had the weather conditions have calmed down a little bit, and he looked at his hand. He didn't realize that no, his hand wasn't purple; it was black, because the glove, I'm gonna suppose some sort of electric glove just to keep his arm warm. The charcoal within it had ripped through, and it was all on his hand, and his hand was rather black than purple. So he couldn't move his hand because it was just cold in general, and the charcoal ironically kept his arm still warm. And when he was talking about this story, he was saying, "Oh, that's great. That means I can continue on climbing, and that means my life is going to stay the same, and I wouldn't have went through the troubles of having to use one hand for my hobbies and my day-to-day life." And he looked at it as a funny story, as a scary story at the same time. But what he took out of it was not, this can lead to me possibly losing a hand actually, or ending my life. He saw it as a one-time thing, and that's
it's a funny accident, something to laugh at.
He was laughing about it. He goes, "Oh, it was really scary then." And instead of going to his senses and saying, "Okay, if it was scary, and I know that next time it could actually happen to me, why do it? Why do it?"
Instead of learn, he find it funny.
Yeah. So I guess
I don't want to be cynical but a lot of people don't learn, and next time, unfortunately, they couldn't smile anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So it just comes down to the person. I'm sure that if you have a type A of people that experience the exact same thing as type B people, one will say, "Look, maybe it's better off if I don't do it anymore," and type A people will go, "No, this was just a once-off accident. I should keep doing it."
Yeah, for example, I tried to learn as a teenager to ride a bicycle, or the big ones.
Yeah.
I had a rocker.
Motorcycle.
Motorcycle.
Yeah.
I had a friends rockers, and you know what? I had very close to crashes almost, and I saw that I'm not capable of doing that. I don't have the ability. I don't have the skills, and I don't think I can develop them. Okay, the accidents were funny because they were on fatal. Fatal, but I said to myself, no, this is dangerous for me. This is dangerous for the other people in the road. So I won't do it. Because who doesn't pay attention to the warnings? Maybe they don't smile again.
Yeah. So yeah, 100%. But there, you're a different person. You saw your accidents as a learning lesson. You've had two, so the first time you're like, "Oh, maybe if I change something," then after the second one, you just saw that this wasn't for you, and that it's better off to just cut it out.
Exactly.
So that concludes our episode for today. If you've enjoyed it, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and the notification bell. And if you agree or disagree, or have a intriguing point to make in the comment section, please do. We might be making a response video, and we'll see what it can take us, but that only can happen only if you guys participate as well. So thank you to anybody that's watched this video fully, and we'll catch you in the next one.